everybody, and welcome on back to Building with Whip. Today we are on yet another episode of building up our awesome wizard castle here. Today we're going to be working on this guy right here. The goal for today's episode is to finish up this big massive tower here so that looking at the front of our castle it appears to be finished and we can just ignore everything behind it and it'll be totally great. Last episode, however, we did come through here and build up all of this custom terrain that we're standing on. You get a great view of it from down here when you're looking through all these awesome fantasy wizard-like caves. Oh man, I freaking love this one. Basically, the idea here was that all of the waves in the sea would just be crashing against these cliffs and wearing it down so much so that it's created this awesome little area underneath. We're using sea pickles and the works down there to light it all up, and it's looking freaking awesome. The reason why I chose to go through and do this guy here was because it was more of a fantasy vibe, I felt like, than just adding some steep cliffs. I felt like caving away the area actually underneath where our castle is going to be, because the castle comes out like right there, those stone blocks. That's supposed to be the edge of where the castle's coming from. So I thought it was a great idea to kind of add that extra element to it here. Now that we can stand up right there, we can see that we have a little bit of a dock area back in here as well. That stuff will all be coming in here very soon. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get out of here. But today's episode, as I mentioned, we're going to be working on building up this guy. And before we get into that, though, I do have a question for you guys, however. Some people have been asking or talking down in the comments below about what their favorite things are to build and what they really enjoy about Minecraft. My question for all of you guys today, because I thought that was a really cool thing, was what is your favorite thing in Minecraft to build? I think before I've asked, like, what was your least favorite thing, which for me was building windmills, which I'm hoping to fix that here soon and get a better idea of how I like to build those guys. But yeah. For me, I'd say my favorite thing, I actually love building little tiny villages. So little villages like we have White Glen behind the big old walls right here, where we can just make the area feel so alive. Lots of big, luscious farming fields and a big forest around and everything like that. That's probably my favorite thing in Minecraft to build. I love building tiny villages. So building a city here is not perfectly like my forte here and not what I totally love to do, but I think it's a great challenge. I think it's a great way for me to stretch myself here as a Minecraft builder. All right, however, so this guy right here, I really hate the shape of it. I really hate that those are just straight lines going all the way up and down. I know we don't have a whole lot of stuff in there, but I think I need to go ahead and get a little bit of work done here, guys, planning out the actual shape of this guy. And I'm going to go ahead and spend some time just filling in everything so that you guys don't have to deal with that part of it. So let me go ahead and get that stuff done. I'm going to rework a lot of the shapes of this guy. I'm thinking about bringing this tower right here probably out another block just as the base. So right there, we'll just kind of make it one wider, which unfortunately means it's going to kind of clash into where our tree is right there. But I think overall that'll help us with like the general shape and scale. So it's not just these hard straight lines. A lot of what I'm going to do is basically take this big guy right here, have it about this wide out to the base and maybe bring it out a little bit wider at the base, then swoop it in, then swoop it back out so we can get like a cool fantasy vibe to it, make it look more wizardy, maybe almost like an hourglass shape. I think that would be really cool. So let me go and get that stuff done here, guys. I'll be back with y'all and we can go ahead and continue working on this guy. Figured now is a good time to bring you guys back in. So the base layer of the tower is kind of in place here. We're going to add a lot more variation to it so it's not these hard cut lines going throughout. Also, the sunrise is looking pretty cool behind the castle and the walls and everything. And then the glow of all the sea pickles down under there. Ooh, it's looking so cool. But that guy right there is all the way filled in, going all the way to the top. I want to kind of have a variation between where these two like are kind of merging in together. We'll add some like stairs and slabs and stuff to kind of help bring those parts, elongate them and make it taller and skinnier and all that good stuff. However, here though, I wanted to go ahead and take this point. Instead of having these straight lines going all the way out here, I actually wanted to go ahead and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Where are we at right now? How many blocks do we have left? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 9 blocks. So let's bring this up to 15 and then we can bring it back out. So right here, we're going to bring it back out there. And then, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring this guy in one layer there. Then it can come back out at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and get around to doing this throughout the entire thing. And I'll be back with you guys after all that stuff is in. Then we can go ahead and get our roof bits on, see how that stuff's looking, and then actually start getting some detail in here. This is starting to look very castle towery, if I do have to say so myself. It almost looks like a chess piece. I feel like we're getting a good castle tower look going on with this guy so far. I'm very happy with the result right now. It looks pretty freaking massive though. As you can see up here, started to get some lines for some windows and things like that. These corner ones are actually going to be a 2 wide window, and then we'll add in some trapdoors and things like that on the sides to kind of help skinny that guy up a little bit. But overall, pretty happy with this one. Got the bow out because I've been refusing to sleep because there's so much stone needing to be placed down. We are on to 3 more shulker boxes of stone over from the big old storage room, which leaves us with 4 shulker boxes left out of the 13 that I brought over that I have to my name right now. So we might actually have to do some stone gathering very soon, which is disappointing. I thought for sure 13 shulker boxes of stone would be able to get us through this project. I guess not. I guess we could start texturing out everything in here and actually getting some of that stone back to build up some more stuff. But that's totally fine. We'll get there eventually. Yay, eventually. Okay, so this guy right here is looking pretty great so far. I have been wanting to go ahead and kind of bring in those details, kind of bringing those areas in here together. But I do want to go ahead and get the top on this guy first. Up here, I'm not too sure on what I want to be doing for the roof. But I think that I want to go ahead... And that's not at all what I want to do. I want to land on that top area. I'm thinking right now that I actually want to go ahead and take that top little extra bit that we have there and actually just get rid of that being its own little bit of the wall. Let's just slam our face into that block. But so instead of this being here, I want to actually go ahead and take this guy down and go ahead and just kind of build up our roof itself and just be a little bit sharper instead of, or yeah, steeper, and go right up to the top instead of having this extra little section right up here. I feel like this is just too much. On top of this, it was just too much going on. I felt like the top would look really weird. It almost looked like a thumble or something like that, or a thumb cap or whatever. I don't really know what they're called, but those old thing. There's a Monopoly piece that you can play as. It's one of those. Wow, that shows how young I am. But yeah, we'll go ahead, or old. Who here still plays Monopoly? Any Monopoly fans out there? The board game? Great game. Good game. Go play it. It's awesome. Okay, so this guy here is taken out down to this point. And I'm thinking that I want to go ahead and kind of start figuring out what we want to be doing for the roof here. I was thinking for the top of this roof, bringing in a lot of dark oak for it. Kind of how we've been doing like that stuff over there and those guys. I almost want to just create this roof as just pure dark oak. Or maybe we go ahead and mess with the purple texture and see what we can do for that guy. That actually sounds like a fun idea. I haven't done anything with purple yet in this pack. So, or in this world at all, and people have been wanting to see some purple on here. So I'll tell you guys what, I'm gonna go ahead and spend some time in Photoshop and see if I can't get that figured out. I also want to go ahead and make this a little bit smoother throughout here. And now that we have purple, we can use some slabs and stuff. So maybe instead of it going like all the way up here, we actually kind of bring this area down a little bit more. So maybe we have this second area a little bit lower down. And so that has some more room to it, and then we can go ahead and have that roof peaked up. So we get that still that taller middle section, or that taller top little apartment area, or whatever you want to call it. This would be more like a maester's area or something like that, I feel like. But yeah, let me go and get some stuff messed around with here. See if I can't come up with a decent purple texture here. Then go gather up some of that stuff, because who knows where the heck I'm going to have any of that lying around here. And I'll be back to you guys as soon as I can. Purple's not done yet, but I have been messing around with some other things texture pack wise. I decided to go ahead and create one of our 1x2 paintings, which was that guy up there. I decided to create it into something that would be like pots and pans and a rolling pin, and we got a nice old spoon right there, all just hanging up on the wall. So you could use this in a kitchen to have some better interior decorating. I figured most of these paintings belong in like very, very rich areas. Like what little farmer or something like that is going to have this massive painting? Or even like these little guys up here, because I'm never going to use one of those massive ones probably. But the ones up here, I feel like we could do so much with them. So I figured, but I'm never going to use the paintings because I like to build small, not super luxurious places. So why not go ahead and turn it into things like this? Any other ideas you guys have for paintings? I'm thinking about turning like maybe like this one into like a message notice board that we could put on like a town center square. Maybe one of these guys being like a small piece of paper, or maybe one of these being like clothes hanging, or I don't really know. That's just a random idea. But let me know if you guys have ideas for things we can include paintings wise. Back to messing with purple. And welcome on back, everybody. I have a general idea for what I want this texture to be looking like. I got a pretty rough idea here, but before I want to confirm this guy, we got to run out to the end and do some end rating. Well, not end rating. and destroying. It's time to go destroy an end fortress. So let's get out there. We can check out this new texture in its natural habitat, and then we can take a look at it from there. I'll meet you guys out in the end as soon as I can find a structure. All right, we are coming up on our end city now. No idea if this guy's been raided yet or not, but this is the texture I've been messing with. It's more of like a dark blue now instead of that purpley color, but I kind of like it. I'm not super set on it yet. I think it might be a little too strong. We might want to reduce the saturation on it a little bit, but I think that's a good first rough copy. You guys will have to let me know what you think about this one. Obviously, we'll take a look at it in the overworld. I think these two textures together suck now. I think it's really awful. really awful. So maybe we can do something to bring those a little bit closer together than where they are right now, because I know I modified that guy a little bit. Yeah, let me go ahead and basically tear this whole thing down so we can get some purpur to work with, because this is the easiest way to mine the stuff and kind of use it as we go. Oh yeah, I've totally destroyed this one too. No shulker boxes for me. Bummer. I'm going from the top all the way down, guys. Well, oh, yep, I'm going from the top all the way down. If I can even make it up there. All right, let me do this stuff and I'll meet you guys back in the overworld. All right, everybody, welcome on back. So we got our nice purpur roof in here for our base level, and I really like this, actually. The more I've been looking at it, we're going to go and take a few little trips around. I still haven't slept, and we've been getting some nice little guests bugging us throughout the night here. And it's even raining at this point, so you know, all that lovely stuff there. But look at that. I think that color actually works out pretty well for us here. I think it actually did a pretty good job here. And there's a little bit of snow on the screen. But I think that does a really good job. I'm really excited to get the second roof on there, using that same dark oak trim at the base and then just purpur all the way up. I think it'll get something really cool in here, making this kind of purpley fantasy vibe. But or I guess it's more of like a dark bluey purpley at this point. But yeah, that's what's next on the list. Had plenty of explosions go off due to creepers. This area is looking pretty great though. We do have this area down here, kind of for what's going to be going on this. We have so much space in here. I'm super excited to get to this thing. And then we have this whole guy right there, which we need to start connecting up to different areas and the works like that. Even just simple things such as like coming in through here. And like, we got to go ahead and get a little doorway in right there. Because this one we had going there, so I figured we'd drop it down, bring it back up, and we can have like our first level of a floor right there. There's a lot of stone down here. Stone is a very precious material right now. Let's get this guy back up. Gathered up there. All right, let me go and get that roof on the top there. I might start doing a little bit of detail work throughout this area as well, just trying to get some extra stuff in here, and then I will be back with you guys as soon as I have yet another update for y'all. All right, the entire roof is now in place, which is looking pretty great from up there, at least. From down here, it's a little hard to see from these angles. This is a very fat tower, but I like it. I think it's going to do the job pretty well for what we want it to. Coda's crying in the background, of course, but yeah, this is looking really great up here. I really like this guy, and I think it's time that I can go ahead and start adding bits of detail and finishing up that extra roof and things like that. I do want to go ahead and make a bunch of windows throughout this guy just so we can have lots of ways to view in, view out, and all that stuff. Just make it super interesting. Coda's going crazy in the background. Sorry if you guys can hear him, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, get a little bit of planning done on this guy, a little bit more of the detail work started there, and probably take Coda outside. And then I'll be back with you guys with another update after this. All right, guys. Welcome on back to this thing. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not super happy with it right now. I'm really kind of frustrated with the shape of it. And I think I've been staring at it too long and everything just looks wrong at this point. So I'm thinking about a few things that I can do to make this in a better format. It just looks very fat, and I kind of I wish that upper area was a little bit smaller, more petite, but I think it has that giant large wizard castle feel to it, which I'm totally okay with being a part of here. But yeah, I could just need to get the whole texture variation and everything in this, then it would make it look smoother. But you can see we've done a lot. This whole tower here now has a roof on it, basically the same little spiky roof that we did on those guys. And then beyond that, I added in some windows and some polished andesite going all the way up. This has taken a very long time. Then on the big guy, we went ahead and kind of redid that whole line right there of that protective stuff, or that bracing stuff to keep that layer that comes back out a step built up right there. Then I added these massive windows into that area right there for that lower level, because I figured that could be like a large library or something like that. I really like that part of it. And the bracing down here, kind of adding a bunch of variation, making it look like it flows a bit better, works. Also, while fighting phantoms, I managed to miss an arrow shot, and it came down and hit that. And they both blew up, and everything here blew up, and I had to redo them. I had to go kill some more gas, and blah, blah, blah. That's just frustrating, and I think that's adding to me being frustrated right now with the build in general. Let's go ahead and take a little fly around, see what's going on up here. And bam, there we go. So that's pretty much it right here with everything. I am playing with the idea right here of bringing in white terracotta. I had a little bit left in an ender chest, and I kind of want to see what it would look like taking this all the way around and making this top area just a different color so it looks a little bit better. That being said, though, we can actually go ahead and show you guys the inside. I know, we got some doors up on these guys now. So door, we got this little pop-out area right there. I've added a bunch of little things here and there, just kind of as I've been going through. I've been just letting my brain go, not really worrying about coming back in to bring you guys in on time, because I felt like we just need to get a lot of progress done here. So here's our big windows on the inside. You can see that dark oak trim out there. It looks pretty good going out. I don't like that they line up in the middle, but I like the way that they look from the outside, so I think it'll be okay to leave it there. The stair tower itself now has stairs in it successfully, with windows going all the way up pretty much these whole sides there, and then there's one there. And then that puts us at this top floor. You can actually take a ladder up to this top guy right up here. And there's another little area to look at there, and one to look at right there. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of little things on the insides as well, just kind of setting up that layout for them. Now we're up in this upper area. We don't have a way up to that top point yet, but in here, this is kind of what we're looking at right now. And I was thinking that that white terracotta would actually look pretty good right in those spots. I don't have any on me right now, however. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, guys. I think what I'm going to do here, though, is I'm actually going to go ahead and just call it a night, go sleep on this, and come back tomorrow after I get home from work and take another stab at this, see what I can't do to kind of finalize this guy up, because I feel like this video is getting pretty long at this point between, and especially time-wise. We destroyed a whole end fortress. We placed down 3+ shulker boxes of stone, and now we got to go back in and add texture variation to the entire thing, which basically means I need a shulker box of diorite, I need a shulker box of andesite, and I need a shulker box of cobblestone, and then we can go ahead and get everything up, set up in here, ready to go. That guy, I did forget to do that part, so let's go and do this. I'll show you guys kind of how we're lining these guys up right here. So that one right here basically comes down to being right like that. Then this guy right here was gonna be coming down a little bit further. While we're here though, just because I want to make sure I get all of these bits here. So I believe it comes down to being at this level where we're standing on right now. We want to change this out into a stair. And then we can go ahead and change that one right there into a stair as well. Let's just go ahead and grab another ender pearl, throw ourselves up here. And this way it just adds a little bit of variation to it. So it's not just that straight line going all the way across there. I don't know if I did that slab in the middle or not. Did I do that? No. Why do I have that point? I did some math here wrong. I'll fix that here in a little bit. I think it's time for me to go to bed though, guys. I'll go ahead and spend some more time working on this when I get back tomorrow. We'll see where we end up from there, and we might call this an episode here, because man, this is taking a long time today. Oh, well, it's nice to have some progress done here, but I don't know if this might have been the progress in the right way, but that's totally okay. We can fix it. We can make this work. And if not, I know how to make end crystals now, so we could have some really cool explosions go off here. That would be kind of fun. I'll be back later, guys. Quick progress update for you guys. Just one final update before we come in with the final update is I went ahead and brought in our white terracotta along the top of this guy for that upper layer. And I think I need to work on blending it a little bit more. And I think I like that with the spruce stairs there as kind of the window cover instead of the stone brick ones. But I think actually flying around that actually gives us a pretty good color. I think I do want to shorten this up and maybe do like a wooden border, like a line across the bottom of it to help shorten it up. But I actually like that. I think that's working pretty well. I'll tell you guys what, let me go ahead and keep messing with this, and then we can actually go ahead and finish this one off. Because the more I'm looking at it, it's a little weird, but I think I like it. I don't know. I'm gonna need a lot from you guys on this one. I'm in the middle here. I really don't know, guys. I don't know quite how long this episode is gonna be at this point, but I've had a lot of fun. I've struggled a lot more, and probably struggled even a bit more, but I think we're finally at a point where this castle's starting to look pretty good. At least this tower of the castle, I think it's finally at the point where I want it to be. So I went ahead and brought in a bunch of sprucey, dark oaky stuff up here just to kind of break up that same pattern that we had going on. I think it ended up looking pretty freaking cool. I'm actually excited to kind of start working on new things like this. I like this color style that we got going up here. It feels very magical. It feels very wizardy to me. So you can see that right there. We got that dark oak trapdoor with 2 spruce trapdoors on top of it, kind of adding a little bit of extra color variation in there. And we got the texture variation in this whole guy, working our diorite stuff all the way down to the base. Fun fact for you guys, though, is that I have had to replace the Zen crystals 6 times due to me working on building this stuff up, and then a skeleton down here being like, you know what, I'm going to get him. I'm going to shoot. Oh, I missed. I hit an iron crystal. Boom, 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 boom. Everything's dead. Yeah, we might have to figure out something else for these. I do love it. I do love it. But oh my gosh, they explode all the time, and they're such a pain to put back. Beyond that, I did come through here and add in some colorful flowers and things. And so we got our alliums, we got some lilacs, and we got just some bushes and life and stuff. I did bring in some podzol as well to mix it up, adding in just more texture variation and things like that. This is kind of what I want the cliffs to look like on the top side going all the way through it. I do want to add more of the trees kind of like this guy throughout here, but we got to figure out how to do those and add them in sparingly, making it look like there's a little bit of like a bush there or something. Overall, super pumped with how this guy turned out in the end. Sitting here in our leaves, we can see a lot of stuff up there. Look at that, right through the grass. It's looking pretty grand. It's looking really cool. I think next episode we'll start working on this area coming throughout here. Probably, I'm not too super sure. I do want to start picking up the pace on this build a little bit more and getting more of the outside areas finished up so we can kind of finish it out from there. I did go ahead, I didn't tell you guys about this. I did go ahead and kind of come up with a design for what I want the windows to look like here. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to have a roof that kind of comes in just doing some half slab like, or maybe stairs stepping straight up. And then we're going to have some stuff coming up above it. So it's just going to be right there. So we can have this little like rounded out area here kind of to make it look really cool. Get a bunch of windows in there. Should be really fun in the end. Really cool looking at least from the outside, because I want the wizards to be able to look out over this area so much. I really want them to be able to look out onto this side. I think that'll be really cool to have a lot of windows facing the water. I think that'll really add to the effect that we're getting out of the whole area. However, let's go ahead and get into the comment question of the day before this video gets too long. All right, this is a long one. It's coming in from Arwen's Keep. They're saying it looks really good. I think you should do the castle style you have already been thinking of. It is your build. I love the use of prismarine because you use it more on its own and not behind the walls. I think it would lessen a lot of the all gray look. If you do a greenhouse or garden, the allium plant is edible and part of the same genus as garlic, onion. Dandelion has kinds of medicinal properties as well as making wine. And of course poppies, ... Those are very medically known for past things like that. Just thinking of how you could do an herbal portion for wizards to make potions from Arwen's Keep. I love the idea of adding in more prismarine. Do you guys think we should do that? Adding it like actually in a block? I kind of want to figure out ways. I don't know if you guys have been watching the 240p server, but what Jancy's doing with kind of hiding it behind some blocks kind of as like a narrow area. So that would be kind of maybe like that block right there. So you'd only see it from like certain angles. So it doesn't really pop out at you because the block itself is kind of aggressively fluorescent, especially against the stone. But I'm really looking for ways that we could break up a lot of the stone look here. I think adding in the white terracotta up there really helped a lot, giving that off-white color, then bringing a lot of this life into the base. But I think there's more that we can do throughout this area, more ways we can mix things up, and more ways we can just add extra color variation and just variation in general to this build. So if you guys have ideas for that down below, that'd be super awesome. As far as the potions themselves and everything, there's definitely more stuff that we can do. I'm thinking about turning this into like a sacred grove right over here for a big forest. I'm almost thinking about also doing a lot of medicinal stuff for like gardens and little poppy fields and dandelion fields and things like that over in this area, because I think that'd be really cool. Then we could actually figure out a way to use these things. But I'm also thinking of maybe retexturing them to be something slightly different for a red flower. So maybe we could use that too, or maybe we just make it like a few little poppies. There's like 2 or 3 of them, so it just looks a little bit bigger and more dense than the single lone flower there, because I just don't really like the look of them too much. Same with the dandelions as well. I feel like they're a little too basic for me, and I kind of want to redo a lot more of the flowers. However, that is it for me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Tomorrow there will be another episode of our winter holiday Let's Build series that we've been working on, so hopefully you guys do check that one out. Hope you guys have been enjoying that series as well so far. First one comes out the previous Friday, so make sure you caught up with that. It's been super fun building up everything in this world recently. Been doing a lot of big projects, so I'm kind of getting a little bit of that burnout phase, but I'm trying to push through it, making sure we can get this guy done. And then I'm thinking we're going to do a tiny project just to kind of regain our creativity and work with all that stuff going forwards. Anyways, it's really dark out here. I should go find a bed. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that like button if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you on the flip side.